regard to her original intentions with Simon. Um, he pursued her because he's a jack of hearts. So he was pursuing her. He started the relationship, gave her the flowers, all of that. But with this being a jack of hearts, it means that she um, spent a lot of time cultivating the relationship after the initial dating phase. So this is not to say that she was investing her money into the relationship, but rather she was providing him with the instructions or the guidelines to continue to woo her. And this Jack of Hearts here is also saying that um, she was attracted to the boyish side of him. That even though he looks, I don't know how old this man looks, but he looks like he could be my granddaddy. But there's still a very youthful energy that he has to him, and we know that Porsha's very youthful, bubbly, and fun, and so they were able to connect based off of those spiritual similarities between the two of them. Then we have a three of clubs, which when we're talking about intentions, we're talking about how it is that Porsha at this time had all these ideas about how she was expecting her life to work. I think at this point in time, before she had met Simon, she wasn't exactly looking for commitment. With this being a three of clubs, this is more so like in terms of relationships, I'm thinking about I have all these things on my mind. When I accomplish these other goals and tasks, then I can start thinking about relationships. There was just too much on her mind, too much on her plate at the time for her to be serious about dating. There's a King of Spades here, which is saying that she always had a plan when she was with him, and she had a plan to dominate. She also had a plan to be. She also intended to be a very submissive wife. When we're thinking about the King of Spades, we're thinking about a card that's telling us to let go of our egos. We're thinking about a card that says to humble ourselves so that we can be seen as a leader. So in this way, she was this. Her intention was to just be taken care of, to become undone, for him to be mesmerized by her, willing to be submissive and passive, open and romantic. We have a Seven of Diamonds, which indicates that she did have some financial interest in this relationship, but with there being a Seven of Diamonds here, it's like there might have been something funny with his money. There might have been something always kind of funny with his money. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't know if this man is a scammer. I've heard people speculate that simply because he's Nigerian. I have no evidence that he's an actual financial scammer. I only know that he's, made up his identity and his immigration status was up for debate. But anyway, she still entered into a relationship with him regardless. The Seven of Diamonds is pretty much like, this man has a lot of money. I'm not willing to investigate into where it's coming in from. And keyword is investigate. When we're thinking about the number 7, we know that the number 7 relates to research. So there was no point in her investigating into his finances because she just knew that there was money coming. She didn't care where it was coming from. She wasn't even looking into it. And if she was a real bitch, she'd be filing a subpoena to look in his finances and put some stuff out there about him too. But anyway, we moved on. Right. Seven of Spades. So the Seven of Spades is indicative that her intentions. The Seven of Spades is a really hard card. This is a hard 7. This is a hard life. This is a hard knock life for us. Porsha was going through some very tough lifestyle changes. I think she left Housewives of Atlanta to, for a season. And instead of her getting her salary, they gave her salary through that Porsha special or whatever. That's what I'm assuming. But the Seven of Spades is basically saying that she, at this point in time, she was expecting for him to help her to remove certain obstacles out of her life. This could be indicative of, hey, it's time for me to leave Housewives of Atlanta. I don't really want to come back. I want to transition into doing something new, and you are my new pathway into going that particular route. We also have the Queen of Diamonds here, which is saying that she had the intentions to manage his money. She came into the relationship with her own businesses, her own property, her own sense of authority over um, how to manipulate wealth in the economy. So she's not I mean, we know that she's not a one trick pony. She is an incredibly valuable media asset. But with this being a Queen of Diamonds in regard to intentions, this is saying that she um, was hoping to marry into this family. She was hoping to marry into wealth. Um, and she saw this as an up leveling in her financial status. So we only got a Jack of Hearts here, so this is not, well, we got diamonds, which are good too. The diamonds indicate that, there was some sort of softness to um, how she understood what was happening in her life. So she saw this as like a God given, divine um, opportunity to have her soulmate. But then we got 3 black cards here, which is also like her exerting a lot of, her forcing something to happen that probably shouldn't have happened. So yeah, enjoying all the good content, y'all. Thank you. As a matter of fact, hit the motherfucking skull emojis because I'm about to read my ass off. So we're gonna look into what are her intentions now. Hit the skull emoji if you're enjoying this reading. What are Porsha's intentions now? What are her feelings and intentions? So let's see how it evolved.
That's interesting.
I cannot. Got a lot of the same cards. Okay, so we have a 7 of clubs, which basically means that it basically means that she's having to let go of this idea that Simon was a benefactor in her life. She now feels as though she was bamboozled, kind of like, damn, why did this happen to me? This is like, she's almost thinking this particular divorce is like, out of all the things that could have happened to me, this happened to me. I feel like I've gotten robbed. I feel bamboozled. I feel she feels violated in this marriage. It's like the one marriage that she had with Cordell. I get this feeling that she feels like, well, with Cordell, I had to mature through that. With Cordell, God was teaching me a lesson. In this particular instance, she doesn't feel like there's anything divine that's coming from it. She feels like she really got hoodwinked by him, and it's almost as though she's trying to convince herself that this is not divine, and he is intentionally trying to harm her. There's an Ace of Clubs here, which is basically saying that she is being introduced to new information about him through gossip. So there are people that are telling him, hey, did you know Simon did this? They had this going on. So basically, when you have a lot of yes men around you, she still got a lot of yes men around her. It's just now they want to tell you all the negative things about Simon because she wasn't willing to hear those things before. But they love Porsha, so they love Simon. So now this new information is being brought to her And she's like, well, she's not even asking them, like, why ain't y'all been told me? It's just like she's saying to herself, well, there's another reason that we couldn't have been together. There's another reason that I got to end this. That's how she's thinking of it. This new information is only cumulative. It is not causing her to self-reflect. These are just cumulative points that she's tallying up, and she's like, these are even more reasons to let go of things. The Queen of Diamonds is here. She only cares at this point to protect her finances. What she's afraid of is having to pay him through the divorce, or she's worried that she's going to have to pay something, that she's going to lose some sort of property through the divorce. There's an 8 of clubs here. This 8 of clubs is pretty much like when you're going from a 7 of clubs to an 8 of clubs. The 7 of clubs is like you let go of this idea so that you can achieve some form of spiritual enlightenment. The 8 of clubs is I have the spiritual enlightenment, and now it's time for me to embody it. So when you get the 8 of clubs, it's what I think is who I become. So in this particular instance, she is trying to focus on herself. She is not trying to see. She's trying to see herself as a single person. I remember I saw this live of her, and it was like Return of the Mac was playing, and instead of oh, she was like, this summer I'm gonna be a hoe. Yeah, she did it on her live. I wish I could play it. I probably could, but she was saying she was gonna be a hoe. So she said it on her live. So that just gives you some idea of where her mindset is right now, where she's trying to embody the energy of a single person, of a divorced person. There's a 5 of hearts here, which is indicative of a breakup or a crisis in her love life. But the 5 of hearts is also indicative of someone that's trying to improve their love life as well. So when we got a 5 of hearts, this is telling us that Porsha is experiencing a crisis in her love life, and she's trying to date. And Porsha, I think you should give it like another 6 months.
Yes.
Because I don't care about your healing. I'm not going to talk about healing because I'm one of them people that I will tell you, in order to get over a nigga, you got to get up under another. But what I do want to say is you don't want it, at least, the appearance of impropriety is impropriety. So if you don't want to have more issues in the courts, you don't want him throwing shit out at you, bitch, don't get into a relationship too soon. Keep that shit on the low, because you don't want him to say that you was fucking that man or dealing with that man while y'all were married. Okay, so there's a Jack of Hearts here. She still has some affection for him, but it's in a friendly way. This is not intended to be romantic. This is more of like the Jack of Hearts in the Jesus Christ way. Like, I have love for him as agape love, a spiritual sort of love. At some point, I do hope that we can get over this and try to, revive our friendship. So again, if you are enjoying this reading, please hit the skull emoji, or you can hit the Libra scales. So the next thing that I'm going to ask, in regard to the filming, what could the courts decide in regard to, filming, and what could the courts decide in regards to the house? Also, just for the fuck of it, are you team Porsha or are you team Simon? You're team Porsha, hit the 1. And if you're a team Simon, hit the 2. If you are team neither, hit the 3. I am team neither. I'm gonna hit that 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I am the 3 God. Let's see, what are they gonna decide about this house? Okay, I got a 6 of clubs, King of Hearts, 6 of spades. They're gonna decide in Simon's favor. The 6 of clubs is basically indicating a delay. So it's a delay with, like, in the clubs, it's like a legal document or whatever. So it's like there's a delay in having his motion heard, or there could be a delay in who is using the Black Spectrum Network channel. Was that
That
you?
was me.
Oh, I'm like, how the fuck I do that? That shit scared me. I'm like, from the Who Guns On? I'm like, what? I got to shoot a little bit. I was like, hey LaDonna. Hey LaDonna, I'm so glad you tuned in. You are too. She said, I'm on side by side. Okay. So yeah. So the Six of Clubs, when you a six in regard to predictions, it's like it will come, but there's going to be a delay with it coming. So and the sixes are also karmic. So basically, what you said in the past will reappear in the future. What you thought in the past will reappear in the future. But it also deals with like legal contracts and documents. So this will be revisited, decided in Simon's favor. Part of why this is going to be decided in Simon's favor, and it may be a splitting the babies. You all might have to figure out how to cohabitate in this particular place. Or I might have to honor this restraining. I'll allow you to move back into the house. I have to honor this restraining order from the court's portion you get out. But with there being a King of Hearts here, this is indicative that what helps to persuade the court is that he cares a lot about his children and that there are minor children involved. I think that I'm pausing here. I'm just saying my own personal opinion. I ain't gotta like this nigga. I ain't gotta give a fuck. But bitch, he got 5 kids. Get the fuck out that man's house.
Yeah.
Get out of his house. Go back to your house. I know I used to be like, fuck them kids, but today I'm like, fuck them kids. But we got a 6 of spades here. The 6 of spades indicates an affirmative decision or an action is made in Simon's favor, but there are going to be delays. So this is not going to be an immediate thing. This will not be an immediate. It's not even like in a next court ruling or motion hearing that things will be decided in his favor. It's just like ultimately he will be able to return to his property. We have the Jack of Clubs, Ace of Spades, and the 6 of Hearts. The Jack of Clubs indicates the delays are due to his attorney. His attorney, he may not have the best divorce attorney. I know that Porsha has Nini's divorce attorney, and that's a good divorce attorney. From what I've heard about this man in Atlanta, that's a very powerful. He's a really good attorney. So with this Jack of Clubs being here, this indicates that he might be new to doing this sort of work. He might be a criminal attorney trying to work in divorce. He might be a family attorney trying to work in divorce. I don't know. But he is very creative. He's very eloquent, but he may not be the best representation that Simon needs right now, because I do see that he is responsible for delays. There's an Ace of Spades over the King of Hearts, which indicates that Simon's going to have to put forth a lot of work to get back in his house. It also indicates that he's going to have to reveal even more messy stuff about Porsha to help persuade the courts, because that Ace of Spades is like a secrets card. But I'm feeling some salaciousness from this Ace of Spades. This is kind of like, I got to slander you a little bit. I gotta put 20 on 10. And then again, we have the 6 of Hearts clarifying the 6 of Spades. This is, again, there's going to be a delay in him getting back into his house. He will get back into his house. Expect delays, but ultimately things are decided in his favor. But with this being a 6 of Hearts here, it's like the family is able to reunite itself inside the home. So again, this is only decided in his favor ultimately because of the children. So now I'm going to look and see, what are they going to do about the filming? Also, y'all tell me in the comments. Oh, Soleil's device disconnected. But y'all tell me in the comments, what advice do you have for Porsha? What advice do y'all have for Porsha? What, based on the reading, what would you all tell her? You know? Oh, this is back. Okay. What are they going to do about the filming? Okay, so we have a 3 of hearts here, which is indicating that you love a lot of things and you eventually want to move on to something else that you love. So as far as the filming goes, this just means this is actually affecting Porsha. It means that Porsha loves to work in entertainment. She loves to have a lot of fun. 3s are ruled by Mars. They're the energy of Mars. So whenever you have a 3, you have a lot of like action oriented energy. There's a lot of movement there. So when you get like a 3 of hearts, it's like there's a lot of action in relationships, which is why some people will see the 3 of cups as, or just related to tarot, the 3 of cups is like a heartbreak card or a card of infidelity, because I'm putting forth, I love a lot of things and I'm continuing to seek out more emotional connections, right? So in regard to this question of filming, this is like, it's putting Porsha in a position where she's going to have to get more creative with how she's going to film and where she's going to film and what she's going to film. There's a 2 of spades here indicating cooperation. So there will be some cooperation between her and the courts. And the reason that I don't think that this is going to be totally decided in her favor is because I have the King of Diamonds here. And this King of Diamonds is indicating that Simon has, in terms of the law, this is like, you have a good legal standing to issue your subpoena. This is not me offering my legal opinion, but this is like, you have a good legal standing to issue this subpoena. And it also means that the judge sees things one way, because when we have the King of Diamonds, we only see half of his face, which means that he only sees things one way. This is not they're objective in their way of thinking, but they are not diplomatic in how they make decisions. So this will not be a diplomatic decision. This will not be, you can film in the house, but we can't see your finances. This is more of a, we're going to decide totally in his favor or totally in your favor. But I don't see this going in Porsha's favor. There's a 6 of hearts here, which is saying that the world will be privy to what's happening. So what is, even though filming may have paused, what's happening in her life is fodder for TV. So this still benefits the network in some way. It just might be really scandalous for people to see how much Porsha's making, and that could help the ratings for the production company and Bravo, but it can also really diminish the prestige behind Housewives. Mm-hmm. So this might not be in their best interest for the long term. So there's an Ace of Clubs here, which indicates an investigation. So they are going to investigate into this. I don't know. The tricky thing is that I'm not sure if True Entertainment will actually have to offer any financial records. But if subpoenaed, they really could. I see them trying to block it, but I'm not 100% sure if they are actually going to have to do that. And then there's a 5 of clubs here, which indicates that Porsha's going to have, there's some things that Porsha's going to have to give up. There's some things that legally she wants to hold on to that she's going to have to release. And so either she might have to release some of the information, she might have to find herself filming in her old home. But what is y'all's advice for Simon? And why the fuck does Porsha want to film in this house so badly? See, the nigga in me is like, you just want to flex on these bitches because you just want to flex on them and show them this huge ass mansion, and you want to make shit look like you in it. That's what I think for myself. So, like, what you got to say?
I agree. It's a nice home. If it's the house that they filmed her wedding special in, I can see why she is fighting so hard to stay in it. So I think that that's what it is. I think it just, and the crazy thing is her own house isn't a bad house, but it's just not a $7 million mansion. You know?
It's
so
not.
She wants to be able to flex and be the one on the season that has the nicest house, you know?
Exactly. And I think that she wants to invite them over in that house. And this is like, you know, I think it's I think it's about her guaranteeing that she can establish her standing in the social hierarchy that is Housewives of Atlanta. Monte LaBelin, she just wants to flex a mansion that she probably couldn't maintain on her own.
Exactly.
I 100,000% agree with that, but let me stop. I feel like y'all think my reading is biased. Y'all be like, oh, he's reading things so biased, and I'm like, no, I'm not. So let's see. Why does Porsha want to stay in this house so badly? Porsha's really attached to this house. She's made this house her home. She showed us up as the Queen of Clubs. So what you all need to know about the Queen of Clubs is that she appears everywhere. The Queen of Clubs is like a god card. She's known as Mother Mary, but she's known for being a busybody. She's also known for leaving her essentially just kind of leaving her magic everywhere. There are traces of her wherever she goes. So this is indicative that she, in terms of the aesthetic or the way things are furnished or the womanly touch that she's added to the house, she feels extremely connected to it. She also feels that there's a spiritual connection between her and the mansion. So for her, this is not completely about social status. Some of this is spiritual for her, where she feels that she's destined to live here. Then we have the Four of Hearts, which is saying that she's got family living here too. She has some of her family living in this house. She's not there by herself. There's family living in this mansion as well. And there's a lot of family because there's a Ten of Hearts here. So there's almost an uprooting of her family from this home. I just whatever. Two of Hearts here. In terms of like a house, this indicates that she doesn't really have any legal ties to the house. Like, ain't no bills in her name. She ain't paying the house and insurance. She just loved being in this house. The two indicates connection. So there is the connection that she has to the home, but it's just purely emotional. That's it. If it was a Two of Spades, it's like, well, she's connected to the house because she worked on the house. Like, she helped to build it up. Two of Diamonds, she invests money. Two of Clubs, she done sign a contract or something. Two of Hearts, bitch, you just like it. That's like when I go with my real estate agent, we go visit properties. I'm like, bitch, this is my house. And guess what? That should be off the market, and I ain't bought it because it was just in my heart. You know what I mean? I know y'all get what I'm saying. y'all be house shopping too. Y'all be rolling through neighborhoods with $7-8 million mansions, and y'all have a Two of Hearts experience too. You know you ain't got no goddamn connection to that house, just like Porsha, and you just feel connected to it. But you say, God, that's my house. Mm-hmm. There's an Ace of Spades here. She has plans to start working on the house. She has plans to improve the home. And then there's a Jack of Hearts here too. It's because she gave this Jack of Hearts and said, I gave up my house to my mama to move in with you. This is my house. Mm. It's the fact that she gave her house to her mom. She's like, the house I worked the hardest for, I legally gifted it to my mom so that I could move in with you. Which now makes a lot more sense about this Queen of Clubs. She feels that maternal nature from the Queen is showing up as a mama bear. And so that's why there's this is my space. Yeah. I conceptualize it as this is my space. The house is a part of her image. I would fight to stay too. Shit, I would as well. Let me say this, bitch. I'd be doing the same thing Porsha was doing. Fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. If I was Porsha, I would be doing the same thing as well. Mm-hmm. And fuck these kids. But I'm not Porsha. I am Dr. Quintara Shakir, otherwise known as Who Guys Out. And the way that I feel about this shit is get out that man goddamn house and stop trying to stop her from filming. That's how I feel. So let's what commentary do we have from the audience? I just feel like I just gave y'all a lot on Porsha and Simon. What are y'all thinking about them now? Did that help to demystify some things? Did I share with y'all some stuff that y'all never knew about them? Or you just like, nigga, I been knew this. I could have seen this from afar, just looking at them too. What y'all think? Let me know in the comments. So Soleil, my question is whose side you on?
I'm on neither side. I'm on neither side. I can understand where Porsha's coming from because you don't give a house away thinking that you're gonna eventually, like 2 years later, be uprooted from the one that you moved into. But emotions they're not facts. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are not the law. You know what I mean? And when these big heartbreaks happen, you have to make adjustment. But I can understand why she has such an emotional attachment to the house. I can understand that.
I could as well. Let me see. Are they doing stuff at this house? Is this the mansion? Girl, I think this is man. Look at this. Could you? Yeah. She is having fun in his house. Mm-hmm. And look at this.
Without him, that would piss me off too.
look at just the aesthetic here. Like I look, this is all I can see. Yeah, look, her little sister there. She's pretty. I mean, the house is beautiful. Just from what I can see right here, like just this little bit, I'm trying to move my head around and see if I can see more. I was like, yeah. Girl, they got her sister doing photo shoots all in his pool. I love it. Y'all, hold on. Let me get my phone. Let me get my charger.
So let's see. What do people have to say? KFS said she oversold her life to Bravo. The house is the last piece of the family. I think that has a lot to do with it too. I think what she promised to Bravo and the change that she may have to make once she's out of this house, that there's a huge difference between the two. So I definitely agree with that. Let's see. Sherry. I also think that she might have a valid argument because if she gave up her home legally based off of his vow of marriage to her, and she's made some improvements to his home, then why wouldn't she have? I don't know. Who God does that matter?
I also think she might have a valid argument because she gave up her home legally based off of his vow of a marriage to her, and she's made some improvements to his home. Then why wouldn't she have at least some monetary value? That's just gonna be split down the middle, baby. Her giving up her house to live with him is important because that is indicating that he wanted to up level her lifestyle. If she made improvements to the house and it increased the value of the home, she doesn't get 100% of that. That's 50-50. So if the home value increased $100,000 during the marriage, she's only getting 50,000 of that. She's not even if she's totally responsible for $100,000 increase in the no, she's only getting 50. She's only getting half. I mean, she could get more if the attorney argues for it or they negotiate it, but no, she's only getting half. I saw through this. You see, they outside exactly. I saw this bullshit from the beginning. She wasn't fooling anyone. Ain't no inside pictures. You going through her Instagram, Indies though, Lil Cricket. Look like her mom. Look like her and her mom soon to be roommates. Look exactly. Also, to Marcus, you need to start texting me. I think she's going to at least get some money from him. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I don't know about that because as soon as if what's rumored is true that she was getting $5 million to return to Housewives, this man's net worth is like $40 million. So if she's getting an eighth of that in just her income, an eighth of his net worth, and that's not him having like that in liquid cash, I don't know about her getting some money. He might be getting some money. The monetary value is based off what she put in, not the full value. Yeah, she's not going to get the full value, but even if she put in something, and it was, let's say, 100,000, she's only going to get half of that. Simon targeted Porsha as well because of her being on Housewives. Simon never had the exposure until Porsha. Porsha also put money into this relationship, and Simon didn't care about his kids before. Okay, so let's break this down. Simon targeted Porsha as well because of her being on Housewives. Okay, so these niggas mutually targeted each other. All right, I can agree with that. I just don't like the word targeted. Simon never had the exposure until Porsha. He didn't need it. The nigga has a $40 million net worth. He was already scamming. He didn't need it. What did he need it for? How has he financially benefited from being in this marriage to her? Porsha also put money into this relationship. So like you have to hold your face too. I'm just like sure she did. Sure, I can't say she didn't. I'm just reading. And Simon didn't care about his kids before. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. If he didn't care about his kids before, yes, the fuck he did because they staying in the $7 million mansion.
Exactly.
So, I mean, shit, I don't know about that. Do your kids stay in a $7 million mansion? If she can get 50% of the home, then that's money.
The likelihood of that doesn't seem very high, though.
She's not gonna get 50% of the house.
Mm-hmm.
She might get 50% of the value that is accrued since the marriage. But I don't know about that.
We have to also be realistic about the length of the marriage. That matters too, right? If she would have even been with him for 5 years, which is still a short marriage, then maybe there's an argument for that. But a year and 3 months is a very, very short amount of time. And that kind of quick turnaround doesn't work for her. It doesn't work in her favor. It just doesn't.
And then also, if she's trying to enforce a prenuptial agreement, saying that you ain't getting shit, I ain't getting shit, then it's almost like, bitch, is she gonna get the house? Like, what grounds did she have to get the house? And you're right, a 15-month marriage versus a 60-month marriage, there's a huge difference there. There's a huge difference between those two marriages. Both are short, but one of them just raises a lot more skepticism behind why this person should be entitled to this person's property. Look, if you file for bankruptcy, doesn't it take you like 2 years before you can apply for an FHA loan for you to even get another house? So why the fuck would you be able to file for bankruptcy, get married to a nigga, be married less than 2 years and get a house? Then again, the law in the United States does not make sense. There's a lot of contradictions. However, I'm just saying, I don't see it. I don't see it. Everybody with wealth is not known to the public, and everybody famous is not rich or wealthy. That's
that part.
My point. I don't know how he benefited just from the exposure. Like, he got popular. Mm-hmm. Is this in the sense of when she was with Dennis and Dennis had all these businesses, now they're together, and because he's got these businesses, guess what? You're gonna have more people frequenting these businesses. I don't know. Maybe Simon owns some clubs. Just my opinion. Did his kids spend time with him, his ex, in their home?
They lived there, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question. That's probably I'm trying to see. I'm like, maybe that's a psychic reading question. You know, Fallon was with Simon 5 years, married 2 or 3 years, and she didn't get much in the divorce. That may be because Fallon didn't have attorneys that could have argued for her. Fallon may not have wanted anything. Fallon may not have been entitled to anything fraudulent marriage. Me and you were co-workers longer than they were married, Hugan. Nigga. I could not. I worked at this, me and Tamarcus, when I was 18, I worked at this job called Braun Research for like 7 months, and this is so shady. Sell the home and walk.
Why would he want to sell his home and walk away when he has, I believe, 5 children? That's taking investment away from them. I don't know. Are you about to read on that?
Yeah, I am. I'm just see what did his ancestors have to say about him selling the house. Let's just see. What do the ancestors have to say about him selling the house? Let's just see. I want to hear him. 3 of diamonds, 3 of spades, 7 of hearts. They're not. I'm going to read the cards, but they're not really entertaining this question. Mm-hmm. The 3 of diamonds is indicating that it's a search for more money, and they're saying that there are other things that you can sell. There are alternative sources of income. So again, when we have a 3, we have Martian energy. We have this Mars energy where it's like, I've got to go out and get it. I've got to go out and hustle. I'm driven to, and I want some money. But this being a 3, it's also like, there are other ways that you can go about getting money. 3 of diamonds is basically saying, when you see a 3, it means I want things both ways at the same time. So I want some money and I want to have wealth. So I'm going to sell my house. That's not going to bring you wealth. You're just going to have some money. You no longer have this passive income generating stream. There's a 3 of spades here, which is saying that the 3 of spades is very creative, and it's like the card of like, I'm an artist. I can structure my life with theatrics. I can be dramatic. I can be boisterous. I can be out there. So this is saying that this is extra. There's a lot of extra work that comes with this, and it's going to bring about a lot of stress. This will be a creative way to retaliate. And you're probably like, why is he talking about retaliation? Where is he getting retaliate? The Seven of Hearts. The Seven of Hearts is the card of retaliation. It's the card of betrayal. It's the card of jealousy. But in this instance, it's talking about there are other ways that he can go about being vindictive. There are other ways that he can go about trying to stunt. There's not a lot of support here for that. And the other thing is that if we can read it this way, the threes indicate stress. Odd numbers always indicate some sort of stress or tension. So this Three of Diamonds indicates that this could be a financially stressful endeavor. Three of Spades, this could be stress on the body, meaning that he doesn't get enough rest, or that he's not able to focus. Like if he's having his morning coffee, he's checking his phone, and emailing attorneys and his real estate agent and constantly discussing things about this house. So it's like his morning routine's disrupted because he's focused on something else. And the Seven of Hearts this is not good for him emotionally. Simon stated he has joint custody of his kids, so he is an active dad. Well, if he's a scammer, that house probably is going to be seized anyway if he doesn't owe people money. So there are different types of scammers. He has participated in identity, I think it's like identity fraud, but this happened back in the 80s. This is damn near 30, 40 years ago. So I don't know if that is still relevant because he's already been convicted. He's already served his time. He's already paid that debt to society. The scales have been rebalanced. He's free. So I don't know. My father had joint custody too, but that was only so he wouldn't have to pay child support. He never really came to see us, and we never saw him except on very rare occasions. Don't let that joint custody fool you. Someone still has primary custody, even in joint custody. $7 million house. That's just all I can say. $7 million house. These people are living better than students at Harvard. Someone looked up public records that only Simon's name is on the deed. The home was purchased in 2021. Thank you so much, LaDonna. That's the real research. So that's my friend. So so his name being on the deed. Well, Porsha. It's not a good look. House purchased in 2021. He ain't selling it. If he's such a scammer, how did he get a $5 million such a high mortgage? Because he's not scamming people out of money. It was identity fraud so that he could get a certain immigration status, right? That doesn't mean that he stole money. That doesn't mean he scammed the government. He may be a legitimate entrepreneur that actually paid taxes on that money. Therefore, he was able to qualify for a $5 million mortgage. I'm talking about in terms of divorce because that's the fight. Sell it or split it. I think that the spirits think that that's short-sighted. I'm just telling you. The spirits think that that's short-sighted. So, like, you want to say something?
It's short-sighted, and I know I keep hitting the same like nail on the head, but 15 months, right? I think there would be pressure to sell and split property if these were people that were together for a decade or more, or even just 5 years. But 15 months is a very short amount of time, and that matters in a court proceeding around a divorce. That matters. They're gonna look at how long these people were together, and the likelihood that they are going to allow this man to uproot his life for someone that he was married to for 15 months is not very high.
So she does not have a vested interest. In the state of Georgia, he don't owe her no portion of that house. That's what I was saying.
Exactly.
I'm like, in the state of Georgia, I'm like, I don't see that working out. The things that y'all are saying are not, some of these things are just not legally informed.
Even in 50-50 states, like even in California, they wouldn't do this for somebody that was married for 15 months.
LaDonna. I trust LaDonna. LaDonna's always had good tea, and sometimes my tea has come from LaDonna, and the shit be true. But LaDonna says Simon is a legitimate businessman. He has had several popular clubs and restaurants here in Atlanta. The other reason I trust LaDonna is because there's someone that's popular on YouTube that I'm acquainted with, and they know Simon. This person often covers things related to Housewives of Atlanta. So, like, you might know who I'm talking about. It's a woman. She said that Simon is a legitimate businessman. She said that she's seen him out and about, and that other people in her circle have corroborated those sorts of things. I'm saying for myself, I've never seen him out and about, right? But I know people like LaDonna, like this other person who covers things, that have said, you know, just from hearsay, from what I've heard, that he's actually does legitimate business. And I think that if he didn't, we'll just see if there's some indictment coming. Can I ask a Married to Medicine question? No. I'm gonna stick to Porsha and Simon just for tonight. In addition, his petroleum company. He has a petroleum company, but I think he might make money in other questionable ways. I ain't denying that. Now, there is a such thing as money laundering, you know. Okay, there is a such thing as money laundering. So what's gonna be our last Simon and Porsha question, and then we move into Young Miami. I didn't know tonight was actually pretty fun. Shit. Y'all been having fun? Hit the skull emoji. I feel like y'all are really enjoying this. I really shouldn't be giving my opinion on stuff. I feel like I'm destroying my show by giving y'all my opinion.
I have a question, Huga. Because it does seem like Simon is a serial monogamist. So it would be interesting to see if he would move on quickly, or if he's planning to move on quickly after the situation.
Yeah, he does give me that energy of he is monogamous.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if he's not in a relationship, he does what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So let me look. He's born June 2nd. I think that's a club card. That might be like a 6 of clubs. And he's 59. He's a 2 of spades. You are right. He's a 2 of spades, an 8 of hearts, 6 of clubs. You're correct. He is monogamous. The 2 of spades, whenever you get a 2, they're all very much looking for companionship. That's like a Libra. They love to be in relationships. So you hit the nail on the head with that one, baby. He's a 2 of clubs Gemini, a 2 of spades Gemini. So this means that he experiences a lot of anxiety when he's not, when communication is off between him and another person. When I say the two of spades Gemini, that I know, they love to talk on the phone. They absolutely love to talk on the phone. They like to have face-to-face conversation. And I think that he's also an 8 of hearts. So that is a very romantic card in itself, but it's also the card of like a playboy. But it makes sense with him having such a Ninja Turtle-like image, but he's still attractive. That brings out that 8 of hearts. So that's why there's still something that's kind of
charming about it.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's my little bit of tea on him. Yeah, hit them skull emojis if you're enjoying this. Let me see. What do the spirits have to say? Is he going to move on quickly? Is Simon going to move on quickly from this? Is Simon going to move on quickly? No. There's an 8 of clubs here. So what's happening to him, he's taking it all in. I do think that a lot of this caught him off guard. To only be married for such a short time is not in any way what he wanted for himself. I think that there's a cultural connotation to this that actually disgusts him. I think that he hates that he's participating in this. I also feel like he in some way this is diminishing his self-esteem. There's a 9 of hearts here. When you get a 9, it has those 9s have the energy of the hermit. So that 9 of hearts is I need to go into isolation so that I can deal with what I'm feeling. There's a tremendous amount of heartbreak and loss that he knows that things are over, and he's grieving, but he's doing it in private. So what you all are seeing with like the lipstick on the pig stuff, y'all are right. That is out of pain. He's saying those things out of pure pain. But this 9 of hearts is also saying that he's grieving so that he can heal in the right way. So if y'all are wondering what's the difference between the 7 of hearts and a 9 of hearts, the 7 of hearts is that shadow work sort of healing that you may never get through. It's a test. The 9 of hearts is I've mastered healing. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm actually going to get through it. So it's always better to get that 9 of hearts than the 7 of hearts, especially if we're talking about like a relationship ending. Pray for that 9 of hearts. The 7 of hearts is like y'all probably gonna keep fucking and end up in a situationship. And you got to see things crash and burn before you let go. 9 of hearts is I can be by myself. I can do the journaling. I actually don't need much coaching. So in terms of him self-soothing and rebuilding, he's doing that right now. There's a Jack of Spades here, so he is fucking. But because when we got the Jack of Spades, we're thinking about like both the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands. I'm receiving a message. I'm taking a stand about something. The Jacks embody the energy of the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s. So there's that initiating, connecting, and creating energy, sending things off. So he's starting relationships. He's dating, just like going on dates because it's a spade. There's not really much of an emotional connection there. There might be sex here and there, but there's nothing serious. And also with this being the Jack of Spades here, this is the card of the thief. There's also a stigma that's attached to him that's affecting his ability to date. Then there's a 7 of hearts here. So he got a 7 of hearts too. So not all of his healing is positive. Not all of his healing journey is going to that's why he's lashing out. That's why it's vindictive. He is also still very much attached to her. He would be open to reconciling, to fix things. I asked what's next for him. I got the Ace of Clubs. So this indicates that he's going to be going on a spiritual journey. So, and it also indicates that he's going to be alone doing it. I don't see a new relationship for the rest of the year. I don't see a new relationship. No.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Y'all, this is what happens when a Scorpio and a Taurus get together. That's all I can say. Ooh. All right, y'all. Moving along to our next subject.
Fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. 'Cause when